Hi. Right, this is the first bit of wild rose, dog rose. I've seen this here. Amazing. I'm just sort of out looking for elderflower. Actually, there's loads here, but just coming into flower. Near a place called Beddingham, going up onto the downs. It's always a little bit distant with these pictures, but gives you an idea. It's quite quiet here, although we're quite near the main road. Going up on the hill, walking towards Firle. So yeah, I was talking about biophony, and this is obviously quite quiet here. You can hear the wind, the skylark. And some distant houses. So the other thing that's important, I was talking about listening to different sorts of music, pick up a sense of how the music in the surroundings influences the music of that culture. The other important bit, really, to consider is aspects of the landscape. Now, near this point is the Old Man of Wilmington, a little bit further down, which is a sort of chalk figure that's cut into the land, and there's quite a lot of those. There's a horse as well around here. And people would mark these things out to symbolise things in the landscape. And it would often lock into some sort of myth or legend. And of course all of these things have cultural significance. And of course that also then dovetails into music and art. Because really, what I want you to sort of ponder today is how those things would have been preeminent for people. We tend to sort of look at them as a bit of a sideshow, because musically and culturally they would have been the reason that we did those things, like why we played the music. And we're so sort of removed from that at the moment. Maybe this might come back. There's certainly a lot of cultural things going on in different places. I was reading and listening to lots of sort of Cornish cultural things that have been revived. Obviously, I can remember things like the Obios down in Padstow and the ferry dance in Helston. And putting that back into context about what people believed from a magical perspective. And of course, since the Reformation and the type of puritanical stuff that went on, and then the jokingly termed Age of Enlightenment, which is quite interesting because look where it's taken us. Not very enlightened, I don't think. When you look at those effects that ways of thinking have, these sort of old, okay, albeit revived ideas are actually much more inclusive about the landscape and where we are with it and in it. interestingly with these things, in those cultural things, we're not separate from it. We're part of it. And the landscape is also us. We haven't got this sort of divide, this sort of Cartesian divide of there's us and then there's nature, which is bloody ridiculous if you think about it. And the problem is, you see, musically, and this again affects us, when music becomes a commodity, which it has, it loses its power. All the time that music was representing something or saying something deeply meaningful, it has power. But if you look at what it is now, it's pretty rubbish. And I'm not saying it's just now, because this has been inherent for quite some time. That music, even if you go back to the sort of 1960s, we always think of it as some sort of heyday of music, but of course there was a lot of rubbish there. You've only got to listen to a sort of 1960s request show to realise how much junk there was out there. And of course we only ever remember the gems. So the ones that weren't junk actually had something deeper going on with them. In other words, the songs were more animated. In a sort of animist perspective, if you like. They had some sort of spirit to them that made things happen. So, I can't give you chapter and verse about Sussex folk music. I know a few people who could. But I wouldn't count myself as a folk musician particularly. But I think what would be good to do is to sort of connect with the stories and the songs and the traditions of your own place where you live, and see what you can draw from that. Because I think that's something that we should be doing anyway. And in fact, it would have been fundamental at one point that the land would have had more connection with you as a person, and subsequently whatever you did. So here we go. I've got a bit of a steep ascent, I should say, to do. Fortunately, there's a nice pub on the other side of this. I'll catch you at a later date. So, yeah, connect with the spirits of place of your locality, and I'll speak to you then.